All right, here we go. This started off as a joke. I said I would go through, I had a whole shitload of messages on my ls1 tech. I hadn't looked at it in like a week. I have 36, I think, messages in my inbox here. And I joked about answering them on camera. And I said I would have to get slightly inebriated maybe and answer them. And I'm slightly inebriated, not as much as maybe I need to be. But also, let me show you this. Check this out. Can you see this? Yeah. Sean Liberator has a thing. Liberator? You know, I never asked him how to pronounce that. And I feel like an asshole now. But this is a banner. He makes banners. I posted this up, and he said he does them for like 40 bucks. He sent me this for Christmas. Uncle Steve bought it for me. So here is that. And then, if you are not... Don't fall on the floor. Holy shit. Anyway, if you are not on the Sloppy public page on Facebook, if you don't have Facebook, I ordered a custom triple billet converter from Jake's Performance. My buddy Cameron is a dealer for them now, so I gotta, oh man, it's heavy as fuck. It's going in this Colorado tomorrow night. We come back. Holy shit. All right, I'm gonna go up to, it's like 32 degrees out here in my garage. I'm gonna go up to Ryan Ackerman's garage because he has a lift. It's easier to do than laying on your back. I'll do a time lapse of that, I think. That'll be really neat. And I'm gonna throw that converter in, and then I think it's supposed to snow maybe Sunday, Monday. So we'll see when I get to the dyno. Hopefully early next week. We'll see if I knock the rods out of this thing. I said that I would quit about 1,000 horsepower to the tire. That would be incredible. It's difficult to make power. I don't care what anyone says. On my dyno, it does not give out any free horsepower. It's consistently lower than most people's. Anyway, well, let's dive right into this and see what the fuck happens. I think I'm going to reply to these people also, so in case they don't see the video. Oh man, this guy wants to put his car on the dyno. He's in Ocean City or Maryland on ls1 tech. Are you in Allentown? I'm retired, so I'm pretty flexible. Well, I guess I got to get back to this guy. What does he have? Matt, I asked you about putting my 65 Buick on the dyno. It's a 6.0 S475 Holly HP. I will be in Ocean City with it for the fall cruise, and I want to make a pass with it. Well, let me just reply to this guy. He seems like a nice guy. So what the hell? He just wants to make some horsepower pulls and maybe some adjustments. I said, hey, if you're still interested in using the dyno for horsepower pulls, please contact me, and I gave him my email address. I don't want to give that to everybody on fucking YouTube. You should probably guess what it is. This guy's saying, hey, how do you like the Innovate SCG1, which I'm using in my wife's truck? I like the idea of an all-in-one, and that's why I wanted to try it. I'm just not happy with the product of the data log. I have not dove into the boost controller yet. Well, I understand. I have one on my wife's truck, yes. It's on the red truck, and the boost controller feature does work. And I have this gripe. I've been using Innovate widebands maybe since 12 years ago on my buddy's Turbo Mustang, Ryan Gregory, and I just don't, I feel like what it's giving me is not an accurate representation, especially with the whole calibration shit. Like, you can calibrate it correctly and get a consistently different result instead of getting a consistent result. Like, I always get the same air fuel with the same tune-up. You can recalibrate it and you should be in the same scenario, boat, and you get a different air fuel every time. He says people are having issues with the boost controller as well. Probably because out of the box, the boost controller has a lot of safety settings. Say, it does like a lean air fuel shutdown at a very safe air fuel, and it does boost cut at very low boost. We ran into this on my friend as like an 11 Coyote car with twin turbo kit. He bought all set up and done, and his hits boost cut easily. It hits air fuel cut easily. We had to relax that stuff to help it out. So I think other people are probably running into that unless they monkey with every goddamn setting. And then like a big gripe of mine is people get electronic boost controllers and they turn the gain all the way up and the fucking car like you can hear the fucking wastegate ripping open and closed, and it's ramping boost in and out too hard, going to a overage, going to an underage, and you're creating like this loop. Like it's like every Supra I've ever dynoed years ago had way too much gain in their boost controllers, and they would actually draw like a sine wave on the dyno horsepower wise because it would over and undershoot incredibly because the person just had their gain hammered because they were just lag masters. I'm gonna make funny faces while I type. I said, let me know how that's going for you. I'm not totally thrilled with it. The boost control works okay. The wideband I don't trust at all. I want to retune her car with my AEM. I got a brand new AEM. I had an AEM UEGO wideband in a bag that I used to tune. Literally, I kept it in a duffel bag for 6 years, and it's lasted that long. I tuned so many years and years worth of cars, hundreds of cars, and it's been awesome. And it finally broke, stopped working. So I bought a brand new one with the Bosch 4.9 instead of the 4.2 sensor. Everyone's losing their fucking mind over that shit. Alright, maybe we'll get some interesting ones here. Thread title change. You want me to change the title thread? I'll get to that maybe later. I'm a moderator on ls1 Tech. Can you believe that? These fucking guys made me a moderator. Anyway, Sloppy Mechanic Facebook misspelled. I have submitted 3 requests to join the Facebook page. I may not be doing it correctly as I rarely use Facebook. However, I'm trying to reach out to your friend Justin Kramer. I'm trying to build an AMC Gremlin like he did. I have a small block 355 in it since 2010, and now I have acquired an LQ4 and GT35 to step up sloppy style. Haha. He's attempting at humor. I was curious as to what oil pan he used, which intercooler he has used, blah blah blah, what all he put it, what transmission. I have a very low mileage Jegs TH350. Not really a fan of TH350s. I feel like they're the 60E of the 3-speed world, in which I want to destroy before I build up another one, of going through the hassle of mounting a TH400 in a custom. See, I don't understand why people, this is like people that get upset about, they will put 14 4L60Es in their car instead of an 80E, because it's difficult to put an 80E in, but it's not difficult to pull a 4L60E 10 times. I don't know. You guys need an evaluation before you start asking that shit. Let me ask if he got in. I mean, there's many administrators right now. We're in like a anything goes kind of phase for all of December till the new year. I told everybody I turned off admin approval because people were slightly complaining like, my posts aren't getting approved. So I opened the floodgates, let everybody post whatever the fuck they want. I'm letting a lot of people into the group. I added some administrators. I'll just be like, hey, yay, did you get in? Were you able to join? If not, I may be able to get you Justin's contact info if he says okay. See, that's one thing that I think some people I know aren't doing, is asking if it's okay to give out my contact information, as I have mentioned that before. Anyway, go right to the next one. Fairmont Tune in the wiki site. It's a .tsproj file. I tried using Tuner Studio to open it, but it says project not supported in this edition. I'm using Tuner Studio Lite. Yes, okay. Issue here is the exported .project file cannot be imported by the unpaid version of Tuner Studio. I have started running into this. The .msq files are up. This, I may make a video about this one day, totally separate, explaining how an MSQ is just a tune file. A tsproj is an entire project exported file that contains everything. The zip files are the same thing as the tsproj, all encompassing, but in a zip or a RAR file, some sort of Windows-based archiving. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to say to this guy. Yeah, you need... You need the full version of Tuner Studio to open a tsproj. I said, can you grab any of the MSQs? Will that help? If not, I'll put up some MSQs, but I'm certain there's MSQs up there you can already use. Just use another one of them. Alright, this guy says, bad Trans Am 97. Bad Trans Am. What does this guy have? OBX long tubes. Oh man, Fogger kit. Oh, 88 Ford rear. Shit, son, he's not afraid to mix breed. Anyway, this guy, he has a subject line. A few questions. I've been trying to educate myself on turbos lately. I have ran nitrous for years. Anyway, gutting out a 01 V6 car and plan to do a budget 5.3 turbo build. Do you recommend the On3 kit versus the GT45 combo? Or the VS GT45 combo? I plan on using a stock harness unless something else is recommended, as well as stock fuel lines, rails with upgraded pump size, question mark. He has a lot of, there's a lot of sentence structuring in here. Trans will likely either be Power Glide or TH400. Car will be 99% track only. Thanks for the help. Well, I mean, I like On3 turbos, but honestly, I've been doing business with VS Racing for like more than 10 years, and I like Varenne, and he stands behind his product. And I have used On3 and I have used VS Racing. I have used them both. One thing I have heard a lot of, I've never bought an On3 kit, but everyone complains about how they fit. They said you got to do some shit, or stuff that is a little bit off, or something like is an inch away and you got to cut it and re-weld it anyway. I would say if you're building a race car that's 99% fucking race car, you should just build the hot side yourself. You'll be better off. The GT45 combo, I almost feel like I need to make a separate video for explaining the GT45, because GT45 could mean many things. He's saying the VS GT45. The VS GT45, I think Varenne has like 10 turbos that are in the bulk group called the GT45. He calls his like the On3 clone of the 7665, meaning 76 compressor, 65 turbine, the 7875, same numbers, and the 80mm Magnum clone, and the GT45 OG, as I like to call it, that's a 69mm compressor and a 77 turbine in a physically large, like a tank housing. Those are all GT45s, so you have to watch your terminology. It's easier to say the turbo size itself, or just call Varenne and ask. A lot of people ask how they should contact Varenne. They want to email him. He gets a lot of like strange contact to people who don't end up buying shit anyway. He's awesome at replying. I don't know how he gets back to all you guys. I'm terrible with this shit, but that's his business. But what you guys don't understand is Varenne can get you 99% of whatever you're thinking of, and it might not be on his website. I know you want to go on there and click buy, but it's way easier to just call the man if you're not going to waste his fucking time, and just ask him. Tell him your horsepower goal, you know, and figure out what you want to buy. See, this guy wants to do a budget 5.3 turbo build, and he's asking me what I recommend. Here's the big thing, is I need to make a video that says, like, hey, when you're building a car, horsepower is your currency. You need to figure out everything you want to do in horsepower or a goal. You need to have something to measure everything else up to. If you want the car to go fucking 7s in the quarter, you're going to need certain things. And certain things are not going to cut it. Other things are going to do it. And you need that goal, a horsepower goal, or I want to do burnouts with my kids. I bring this up all the time, but fucking A, it's a valid goal. Tons of people don't really give a shit about making a quarter-mile pass. They'll never go to the track. They want to do burnouts. And 500 tire is a recipe for completely retarded burnouts, in my opinion. And that's an easy goal. And you can, the pricing structure to make 500 tire versus 1,000 tire is massive, depending on vehicle weight and all sorts of other things. But one thing that all of those have in common is horsepower. So you can use horsepower as your measurement, and you say like, man, my car weighs 4,000 pounds, and I want to go 9s. So you're like, okay, these transmissions for that weight and horsepower are going to work. This turbo is going to work. This engine is going to work. You know, you can figure out everything from there. So, I mean, yeah, you can use a stock wiring harness, get someone to cut one down like Shannon Taylor, or buy a PSI V8 harness for your car. Stock fuel lines, depending on how fast you want to go. Again, stock fuel lines, it's returnless. In a 2001 V6, I believe, it's returnless in a 2002 V8. You may need to do return after 500 tire. We ran into issues with returnless, and we made it return and kept the returnless rail, but put a regulator in the engine bay on my friend's Firebird, and it weighs almost 2 tons and it traps 141 miles an hour. So, man, that's just, it's difficult. I know I answer these like a fucking snobby idiot sometimes, but it's because you need to figure out your goal and then size the parts, fuel, rear end, everything else to fit it, obviously. If you want to make 500 horsepower, if you want to make 800 horsepower, you know, it all depends. That 7665 that Varen sells, or On 3 sells, will easily do 500-600 tire with the appropriate 5.3 and last a long time. And it's all in that recipe book. If you had just called him and asked, that would be easy. So I'm going on and on here. So what we need to tell this guy is, what is your goal? Do you have a ET or mile per hour or horsepower goal? You need to figure that out first, and then get supporting parts. Supporting parts to meet those goals. And that's 90% of my answer, since people don't give me a goal. That's my answer. Anyway, we'll just send that. Just ask him what his fucking goal is. Twin Turbo 6.0 question. Hi, I read through your build thread, and I've been looking for this info. What build thread? I have a 71 Vega that I'm planning to turbo, LQ4 stock, and it will weigh around 3,000 pounds. What would you happen to have the dyno chart on your old GT35 twins? He must be asking about my 2500 pickup truck, with those turbos were way too fucking small, and my converter was too loose, and my cam was too big. I'm looking for 600-700 horsepower, 100% street setup through a 80E. I don't know why people get so bent out of shape about twin turbos. I think single turbo is better. I'd like to limit the lag. I had a 5.3 with a 76 on 3, and it was fairly fast at 600, and I feel like there was still lag. Because the 7665 is a really small turbine, and it ends up choking itself up more than it ends up helping you spool. John Bewley, I learned from you. I learned. I really like that you mentioned that it felt like a supercharger, since I don't plan to rev past 6 or 62 5K limit. Blah, 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 blah. Well, my answer for at least the end of 2016 is, if you have a 6-liter car and you want almost instantaneous supercharger-like boost, you should do a mild cam and the 78-75 turbo with a mild turbo cam, and 6.0 is an incredible combination. I can read and I can type, but I can't read and type at the same time. I'm slowing myself down with errors. Anyway, what I had in this truck was the 78-75 and a Jarrett cam, like the 1212 or similar, a 218 or something very close to that specified for this combo, and it made boost like immediately. It was actually harder to drive because it had so much instant power. It was retarded. And it's actually easier to drive, even though it makes more power and gets more retarded the more you floor it. With this combination, it's easier to drive because it's not so crazy. Like down low, this thing was just crazy. So if you have no idea what the fuck you want to do, you should get a T4 hot side. Fairly conservative. You don't need to get fucking huge pipes all over your goddamn engine bay in front of your radiator, heating all your bullshit up and taking up all the room for no reason. 7875, mild cam, 6 liter, like super instant power, tight converter, awesome street car, 100% street car. Get a tight fucking converter, use the budget Circle D, 600-700 horsepower is no problem for that. $550 for that converter, drop into a 4L80E. So I'm going to say 7875 turbo with a mild cam and a 6 liter is an incredible combination. Get a tight or a budget Circle D converter. Did he say he wants an 80E? He didn't say which transmission. For an 80E, or get the PTC $450 converter for a TH400. That shit can't be beat in my opinion. Yeah, that's fine. It'll back up a little bit at higher RPM and it'll spool fast, and that's exactly what you're asking for. Send message. Custom turbo setup. Hey man, I know this is quite off the beaten path, but I just finished my Turbo Z28 and winter is officially here. No shit. I also picked up a 2004 F-150 with a 2-valve, and I was wondering if you could point me in the direction of building either a remote or mid-mount for this poor Ford enough power, man, to haul the Camaro down state this winter so I can enjoy my LS. 04 4.6 F-150 are fucking terrible, in my opinion. The motor sucks and the rods are not that strong. Injectors fuel pumped. What are you saying? You're just listing things out of nowhere. I already have an on-3 turbo as well as a SureFlow scavenge pump. Things I'll believe I'll need are... Well, I don't tune Fords. I have no fucking clue. Honestly, they're a huge pain in the ass to tune, in my opinion. You need to go to someone who specializes in tuning pain in the asses. You can remote mount a turbo setup. We have done it. I think it fucking sucks. It's terrible. I think it's stupid. If there's plenty of room in the engine bay to put a turbo on one of those trucks and gravity drain it and not worry about shit, you're gonna have to have someone SCT tune this thing and hope it fucking stays together and doesn't squirt a fucking rod out. Lately there has been this giant influx, I don't understand it, of people who want to pull a 9,000 pound trailer and have a 4L60E and make 600 horsepower, and they ask like my buddy Corey Edelman that builds transmissions if he can do that, and they're like, I don't want to swap an 80E, but I want to fucking pull my 60E 10 times. Again, man, the 4.6 F-150 just isn't that fucking great. I don't know what to tell you. If I do a remote setup with low boost, will I need an intercooler or meth? See, it's funny, these people, like, they want to have everything, but they want to cheap the fuck out, and they want someone to answer every question. It's fine if you do this on your own and you figure it out on your own, but I can guarantee you the people that want to tow and want to have their 4.6 2-valve F-150 be reliable and add a ton of power with a turbo and have tuning for a cheap price and ask for everything else. Oh my God, there's just, I mean, you have to understand what you're asking for, and it's you're asking a lot. What are you asking? Oh my God. You want all this, you want all your fucking cake and you want to eat it too, and you want all the answers to your questions. You're probably going to have to do a lot of this shit on your own. You're going to have to find someone competent. You're going to have to, I mean, that's going to be difficult. I can't even find anyone in this area when people ask me where they can get Ford stuff tuned, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I mean, this would be a long ass answer, and people, I think they're upset with my answer then is because it's, you ask a retardedly loaded question. Here, I'm gonna flat out say, I know next to nothing about 4.6 tuning. Your best bet is to find someone who can, who won't scumbag you. Rear mount setups work, but they are a huge pain in the ass. I keep hitting like a weird key combination and fucking myself over. I don't know what it is with this keyboard, but I'm ruining my life right now. 25 messages to go through. All right. Said, I know nothing about 4.6 tuning and setup, but rear mounts are a pain in the ass if you can avoid them. Towing and adding may present issues of their own. This is a loaded question. You will probably... I think it's funny, a lot of these people are just afraid to do shit on their own. And you shouldn't take your only fucking reliable vehicle and make a goddamn mess out of it, in my opinion. You shouldn't take your... I bet he ideally drives this fucking thing and he wants to rip it apart. And then he'll be like, oh, this fucking shit doesn't work. That slot mechanics guy's a total dickhead. I mean, how do I answer it? How do I answer this person? We said this in my video where we talked at Area 1320 and he talked about building Subarus. And included in the build cost, he was saying he needs to supply a 1996 Civic for these people so they can fucking drive that because they want their car done in 5 days. They want an engine build, a transmission build, a custom turbo setup, and a custom tune done while he has 25 other cars on the lot. And they'll call him every day and be like, yo, is my car built yet? Is my car done yet? Like, where's your fucking beater? Like, why'd you buy a brand new car and blow it up if you can't afford it? Do I sound mad? Okay, next one. This guy says, turbo kit for a newbie. Hey Matt, I love your builds. I really appreciate you sharing your knowledge with the community. Hey, thanks. Thanks. Would you be interested in playing Project Coordinator and piece together a turbo kit for me? I've been reading everything, probably too much, and I'm as confused now as I ever was. If interested, ping me back and I'll share specs and goals. Rob, call VS Racing. Rob, call VS Racing. They sell an entire Denma based kit and it's modular. Imagine that, it's modular. You can get a bigger turbo, you can get bigger injectors. Shit, you can call Varen and tell him you want a billet 91mm Precision Pro Mod turbo. And he'll get it. He'll do it for you. Varen's the man. He's not going to judge you. I don't want to be a project coordinator. Nope, that's not my job. This guy, his username is Mechanic, I think, but it's spelled so fucking awful that I can't tell if it's Mechanic or Maniac. Anyway. Turbo advice from the master of doing what shouldn't be done. Hey man, I wanted to get your thoughts if you wouldn't mind before we pull the trigger on a turbo. Engine, 6-liter LQ4, that's everybody. Forged pistons and rods, slightly higher than stock compression, truck intake, Lunati cam, close to Little John Stage 2. I can get you exact numbers if you would like. Well, I don't know. Pump gas, air-to-air intercooled trans, T56, would like to make 750 horsepower to tire and spin 6,500 on a single turbo. We're thinking of an S475. Would be able to get us there with some room to grow, which we would like to have if possible. Of course, everyone wants to make 2,000 if possible. We would also like to have fast spool up since the car will be used for autocross. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? 750 tire, autocross, stick shift, turbo car. Okay, anyway, let me try to get past this. Little John recommended the 92mm with the 1.1 housing. My questions are, do you think that compressor will do the job? What exhaust would you recommend? Which exhaust side combination will spool faster? I'm very interested to see how much power you can put down with the turbo cart. My turbo cart, I need to fucking work on that turbo cart. Holy shit. An S475 will do the job in almost any flavor. A stick shift car is like showing somebody your huge dick. It's going to show power numbers no matter what. Even if you can't use them, it's going to show power numbers. I mean, If you talk to John, just do what John says. Why are you asking me? Which exhaust side combination will spool faster? The smallest turbine. If you got like a fucking weird ass retrofit, like a T4 87 millimeter S475, which you would have to get from John probably has them in stock on the fucking shelf. You can get them from like forcedinductions.com. Jose can cut you some weird shit. He can do anything you want, but that's going to have to play in combination with your camshaft. And then saying you want an autocross 750 horsepower turbo car stick shift is like, I don't know. I don't want to make fun of you, but it sounds retarded. That sounds really dumb. You should just, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to play out for you. Probably not really fucking well. John was probably shaking his head the entire time he was specifying your combination. Yeah, an S475 will easily do 800 tire through an auto off the shelf. I'm thinking of going to 83 turbine. Little John recommended a 92. See, what happens here is the 83 turbine will do what you're asking, but then you're asking for room to grow, so Little John's telling you 92 because you're indecisive as fuck. And what exhaust would I recommend? I mean, whatever you can handle. Is it going in a Firebird or a 4th gen or something? Total fucking pain in the ass. Put it out the fucking hood, out the fender, put it out the back if you can fit it. This stuff, it blows my mind. My questions are these. S475, I'll just say right here, S475 will make the power in any turbine trim with a stick. S475 in nearly any turbine with a 6-liter will make that kind of power to the tire instantly. Here's the thing. Do you want it to make an ass load of power down low and boil the tires? Or do you want it to lag, and then boil the tires off in your autocross course? I feel like you're going to be driving out of boost nearly the entire fucking autocross course. Why don't you just have, a Miata, a completely stock Miata is probably going to be faster than you are. I don't understand these questions. What exhaust would you recommend? Whatever exhaust suits your needs. Do you want it to be super quiet? Do you want it to dump out the fucking hood? Do you want it to spew oil on your windshield? Do you want your passenger to be breathing it the entire time? Put it out the hot fender real high on their side. Make them fucking deal with it. The smaller exhaust side will usually spool faster unless your shit's totally fucked up. I said smallest exhaust side, turbine size, will usually spool fastest, all other things accounted for. Man, this stuff's difficult to answer. Mark's car. Well, here we go. Another fresh one. Hello, sir. What kind of bead locks are in the rear of Mark's Camaro? Camaro spelled incorrectly with an E. Sir, thanks. I have no clue. I don't know what Mark bought, but I know the first set he bought, one of the rims was bent really fucking bad. Brand new from, I think, Weld. They're bolt together bead locks from Weld, and one brand new Weld bead lock was nearly fucking destroyed, and it took him months to get them to replace it. Which I think is sad, because everyone tells you to buy the good shit, and his was fucked. Man, it's like 30 degrees out here. I put on my heated jacket. He has welds. He has Weld bead locks. I have no idea what kind. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it. Alright, question. Hey, I have a question for you. LOL. And I know I have done my research. ... My girlfriend is yelling at me for watching YouTube all the time. And I'm doing my first 6.0 build. I currently have a 6.0 with head studs and rod bolts. Huge fucking waste of time. Huge waste of time, most likely. Giant waste of money and time. Motor was set up for nitrous. He couldn't remember the part number of the cam. Okay. You're talking about you or someone else, but remembers it was over 600 lift. Now I know that doesn't matter because it's all about lobe separation, but the motor is currently carbed. I was doing a truck intake and mega old Mega old, mega gold. What are you? Oh my god. The motor has 243 ported heads. I think are a waste of time. Then just yesterday, my old roommate calls me and says I can buy his whole 6.0 S10 project for cheap, which comes with a 6.0 China studs, 224 Texas speed can, 317 heads, ls1 intake, microsquare plug and play harness. Do you think that would be a decent setup for cast manifolds, T6 S480 setup, or should I just stick with my 6.0 and buy a gold box? I've emailed DFI Source to see what they would do in trade because it hasn't even been out of the box. Basically, he doesn't want to finish the trucks. What's your thought? Oh my god. You asked me like 3 questions and said, what's your thoughts? You asked me 3 questions and then asked, what's your thoughts? You're currently building a 6-liter with wasteful parts in it, and you're thinking about buying your S10 abortion friends product. Goals? Do you have any goals? I mean, I can't answer all this shit at once. I know fucking nothing. You told me everything and told me nothing. This is my struggle. I can't, it's hard for me to answer this shit. It really is. It's difficult. What's your goal? I said, what's your goal? Build the car to reach your goal. Man, I don't know what else. I don't know what I can tell you. Hold on a second. I think I gotta plug this thing in. My battery's getting low already, damn it. Fucking battery. Okay. I'm plugged into the wall. About a 30-minute mark there. Question number 2. Same guy. Also, I've seen you bore a hole into the exhaust housing using a mount the wastegate in there. Is there an advantage to that? The reason I asked is because I was going to buy 2 44 knockoffs for a T6 build. If I got to buy one signal. Yeah, yeah, it works. I said, yeah, it works. You can just put one there instead of putting 2 somewhere else or struggle to fit them somewhere if you don't mind basically ruining your turbo. Fuck it. Shove it in there. No problem. Anyway, this guy asked a question. It says, EFI Source Gold Box, stock ls2 tune. First off, I bought this box from Mike after watching all your videos. Finally got my car on the road, and man, this thing kicks butt. I love it. Awesome. I'm genuinely happy for you. You mentioned in one of your other videos that you tuned Grip Buzz, stock ls2, and posted a tune. I can't seem to find it. If you have a link, thank you once again for all you do for the LS community, for what it's worth. I'm not sure I can make it to PA for your class, but I would like to buy your other videos if you sell them. It's overwhelming just being naturally aspirated. Once I have boost, I want to know what I'm doing, or at least say I tried. Well, Jarrett, you sound like a very nice man. Thank you. All right. Bruce's stock ls2 tune is on the wiki page. Yes. This really wasn't much of a question. It's just asking for a tune file. A lot of people don't realize that there's a Sloppy Mechanics wiki page. If you go to sloppymechanics.com, there's a link to the wiki page. You can even just Google search Sloppy Mechanics wiki. It'll take you right to it. And there's a lot of shit. The search works really good on it. Imagine that. And there's a section called the Tune Cabinet. If you look in here, there's all sorts of shit. And if he can't find what he needs, I'll add a file in there for him. I'm gonna have to investigate it later. I don't want to waste a whole shitload of time on it. He's saying he would like to check out some of our other videos, and we do classes, and you can read that on the wiki page if you look up our classes. We do classes in Pennsylvania. Uncle Steve and I, And we have also started selling the videos because of overwhelming amount of people asking if we would sell the videos. We figured out a way to just fucking sell the videos. So we do all of that. All of that is available right now. There are complete classes on video, and I plan on doing screen captures and showing you at least how I do it. So yeah, that stuff is there, and more of it is coming. Check it out. Sloppy Mechanics wiki page. Wiki. Tuning. Another question. Tuning. I was told you might be able to tune a stock GM truck with a Magna Charger. I'm in Bucks County, PA. No shit. This guy lives right near me. I'm gonna be like, hey. I said, hey, yeah, I might be able to do that. Pending a lot of things. I do tuning part-time. I do it for fun. I do it to learn. I do it mostly to help people. I don't even, I mean, I'm not a fucking rich guy, but I don't really need the money. A lot of times the headache isn't totally worth tuning someone's car. Some of you might know that if you're in the industry. I'm not even in the industry, and I can't stand, some people are a huge pain in the ass. And I kind of do it for fun, and I do it to learn, and I do it to hand out stuff or help people or add to the information that I know or have already learned. And I mean, here's the thing. If you need your truck tuned yesterday, or if you're going to nitpick quite a bit and you need adjustments constantly, and you have to realize that I have a day job that can be demanding, and I have plenty of other shit going on, and I may not be able to. I'm not a place where you can just drop off your car. I don't own a business. I have no storage. I have no place to work on your vehicle. This is my vehicle. It takes up all the room. There are stipulations here, and if your vehicle can be tuned, which most of them can, in like a 3-hour window, depending on what's done to it, I sometimes can fit you in my retarded schedule. I have a crazy schedule. And sometimes, every now and then, I can get back to people and schedule them. It's amazing what all I can get done with basically no time at all into these vehicles. So I might be able to do that. Do you still need a tune? And can you email me? I can't. I'll just say right now, I gave him my email, and I'll say I can't. I said, I can't always fit people in, and it's very situational, and it depends on a lot of things all at once, since this is not my day job. I can't talk. It's not my day job, it's just a hobby. I'm just going to send it as that. I'm not going to think about it anymore. Because if this guy feels impatient or already has it done, that's great. If he already has it done. I need to get like a list of people. I know, like, I have a bunch of friends. I need to learn, I need to go see these other shops. I mean, they probably don't have a lot of great things to say about me, I'm sure. But one of them, I know a guy. His name is Dave, and he owns EFX Tuning, and he's in like Central Jersey. He does a great job. He does cam installs, he has a shop, he does tuning, he's very knowledgeable, he's a professional tuner, he does tuning for a living, he has his own dyno and shop. He does a great job. You can call that guy anytime you want. You can schedule with him. It probably is a lot easier than setting up with me. I only take on what I believe I can tune. I'm not a pro. So if I think I can do it, I do it. And if it interests me, I'll do it. And all of those things, it's a cascade. Sometimes I'm sure people get fucking annoyed, but I think they also don't realize, who they're contacting, or that I don't, it depends on a lot of things. This guy, his username is 1500 horsepower, and he just sends me a shitload of question marks, like 21 of them in the question line. Sorry to be a pain. Sorry to be a pain. What wheels are in the back of Mark's new car? Here's the same one, same question. I have no idea. I think they're welds. One of them was bent. And he had to prod the shit out of them to make it right. Kind of shameful, I think. Next question. I'm looking to get my twin turbo 427 tuned. I'm in Central PA, State College. Man, you got like at least 3 hours to drive out to me, maybe 5. I know Jordan Frank is like Pittsburgh area, and it takes him 5 fucking hours to get out here. I just got my Dart 427 mast 6-bolt headed engine back from Billy Briggs at Detroit Speed. Whew. I hope to fire it in December. Well, it's December 10th. Car is a 91 Z28 with a Rossler 400 PTC converter. That all sounds good. The only thing I have not purchased is the ECM. I was leaning towards Holly Dominator, but I'm open to suggestions. Well, sir, I'm not a salesman. I can't talk you into doing anything. And I have no interest in talking you into purchasing something in efforts to make money and then tune your vehicle and then marry your vehicle for life. Anyway, fuel system is cable driven, belt drive mechanical pump. Okay, let me know a good number if you're interested in tuning. Probably not. I'm probably not interested at all, since you don't even know what computer you want to get. I don't even know if I can tune it. I don't know if I want to tune it. I mean, what do you want? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, is that just a dick thing to say? Probably not. I said probably not. I don't even know what computer you will be using, and it seems like a pretty crazy combination. I'm assuming it's going to be turbo. Yeah, twin turbo 427. Doesn't say anything else, but in the subject it says it's a TT 427, which I'm assuming means twin turbo, and nowhere else it says anything about turbos. It kind of makes me nervous to touch your car if you have that much money into it. I mean, I tuned my buddy Mark's car. He's my friend, and I can't believe he lets me tune it. It's expensive. But anyway, I'm not a pro, and I don't have insurance if I knock your shit apart and it costs 40 grand. So I gave you kind of a short answer. Hopefully you're not mad at the fucking world. See what he says. I don't know. These people know I don't have a business. Quick question. Here we go. This guy's username is 121. That's kind of interesting. It's very short, and I don't know what the fuck it means. Yeah, do you use VS Racing wastegates, or do you like the EMUSA or EMUSA better? I was just curious. I've never ran or seen either one. I bought turbos from Varen, but not a gate. Let me know. Thanks, man. Well, at this point, if you don't have anything, the newest VS Racing wastegates are basically Tile MVS clones, and they fucking work great. And they have a stainless valve, and they come with like 3 springs. You can add or subtract or use them in parallel, all 3 of them or 2 of them or 1 of them. They're fucking awesome. They work great. I got one in this truck here, welded it right to the fucking turbine housing. I got one welded to the turbine housing in Jamie's truck. I've used a lot of China shit, and it all works great. But I would run, I mean, you guys might think I push a VS, but I like the guy. I've worked with him for 10 years. And I've never really had a problem, but I've heard of people they bought the wrong part or something else, or they had a difficulty, or when they got it, shipping damaged it, and they're so funny, they jump right on the forum and they're like, what do I do? And they want to scumbag Varen right away. I'm like, did you fucking call the guy and see if he'll help you? And he's like, yeah, call me and we'll work it out. We'll send them back, or we'll get the manufacturer to replace them or whatever. But it's funny how people want to witch hunt right away, and the man's willing to help no matter what. So it's not like you're going to buy it on eBay and struggle with somebody, or meet someone on Craigslist and get fucking beat up and get your shit stolen and get a shit product, because everyone takes 12 years to finish their product, so you won't even know if it's good or bad by the time you finish it. We'll end my rant right here, and I'll say, buy the VS 44mm clone. It's fucking Awesome. How you like that? The VS44 is fucking awesome. Just get it. Here we go. This is entertaining. A man from Waco, Texas. His username is 4-eyed turd 1. So that means that someone already had 4-eyed turd as a username, and this man added a 1. I don't know what I don't even want to answer or read this question. I'm so fascinated with the 4-eyed turd username. Subject: would you run a MPT 70? I know you've ran a selection of turbos, so would you run a Master Power 70 68 on a stock LQ460 if you had it on the shelf, or sell it and go 77 83 or something like it? Let's circle back to answering every one of my fucking questions here. What's your goal? Sure, if you have a Master Power 70 and you want to make 500 tire, it's fucking great. You already have the turbo, bolt that bitch on. If you want to make 850 tire, the Master Power 70 isn't going to go there. It's going to be a back pressure monster. If you have a giant cam you want to put in your 6-liter, you're going to fuck yourself. If you want to make a lot of power, you're going to fuck yourself. I mean, what's your goal? Let's just say right away, what is your goal? That defines you should. That defines what turbo you can or should run. The Master Power 70 is older, but a very good turbo. I said it has a maximum low horsepower capability of 500 to 600 horsepower tire maximum through an automatic. If you're fine with that, then you're golden. I said, otherwise you're going to need a larger unit to meet your goal, whatever that might be. No one has a goal. I feel like a lot of people are totally fucking confused with what they want to do because they don't have a goal. It all gets pretty diluted when you have nothing to work towards. Like if you start working for a company and they're like, well, I don't know, here's your work and you can work here, and if you want to do something, maybe if you work, you know, we'll figure it out, or, you know, and they just fucking don't have a career path for you. You got nothing to work for. Anyway, next one. I think I got like 2 or 3 left that I want to do. Question for you. What cam would you use on my setup? ERL 6-bolt Super Deck LSX 6-bolt heads, 700 lift flowed 3.7. I mean, all that shit means nothing to me. I don't really care about cylinder head flow. I don't care about camshafts. Twin turbo SXE 369 billet with race covers. Hydraulic roller, mainly a street car. And input would be great. I live in Delaware. The guy spelled Delaware wrong and he lives there. You can spec a cam and tune it. I will be happy to pay you, thanks. No, I don't know shit about cams. I don't work with large engines. I know next to nothing about how well twin turbos work. Just fucking call John Bewley. He will tell you what you need. It's funny. I said, just call Little John Motorsports. Ask for John Bewley. Ask him what to do. This is beyond my expertise, and that's an honest answer. It's funny, I feel like people get pissed with these answers. I have no idea what to tell you to buy. I'm not a salesman. I'm not going to tell you what to buy. I feel like people always want to ask me because they want me to tell them what to buy. And even if that situation were true, they wouldn't fucking buy what I tell them to buy anyway. They would argue with me, because that's how it works on Slog Mechanics with 90% of the posts. I can't imagine people actually wanting to purchase anything would be any different. Yeah, I mean, mainly a street car. Why the fuck do you have a ERL 6-bolt super deck 6-bolt head? Why did you go through all the fucking extremes in the world to build a street car? I don't know. People are weird. I feel like this shit is so fucking weird. I don't know if they're stuck in the land of more money and people are more impressed. Are you just going to drive it to car shows? You can get away with a lot less and tell people it's a lot more if you're into that. I don't understand what the goal is. You need a goal, and you need to tell John your goal, and John will sell you the parts to meet your goal. And that's that. Yeah. I mean, I don't. What else do I tell you? Mullins Racing, 0 posts? Really? Injectors. Subject. I'm sure you've answered this many times, and it has been beaten to death. But I'm gonna fucking ask you anyway. But I'm building a twin turbo 6.0 drag race only 91 S10. Oh Christ. I hate S10s if you didn't know that. I'm going to run the Latvian CNG injectors with HP tuners. What Latvian CNGs? There's like at least 2? 10 more probably? The 160s or the 210s? Could you shed a little light on injector data for HP tuners? I don't have injector data on those injectors. Nope. I don't have injector data. I don't have any data. I use stock data. Is this what you were asking for? Is that the answer you wanted? I mean, I fucking hope so. And I'm pretty much through them all, other than ones I don't want to read what people wrote out loud. You know, it's certain information that gave away too much of their details. But that's where we're at with that. Shit, man. We're like an hour in, so we'll see if... I know people like the Rambletron. I know people want to hear me talk shit the entire time. But we will see. I mean, man, I feel like everyone's just fucking scared to do stuff themselves. Just fucking do it. Show some initiative. You may be surprised. You may be able to teach me something. Anyway, let me know if this is what you were asking for. If you enjoyed it at all. It's fucking 1 a.m. I'm frozen. Can't feel my feet. I hope some of you might have learned something. Otherwise, I want to get this converter in my truck, and sometime during the week, next week, maybe knock a rod out of this truck or make 4 digits. That would be amazing. Either one of them would be amazing, because if I blow it, everyone will tell me I'm a moron, and if I do it, everyone will ask me how the fuck I did it. And that whole situation always makes me laugh. Anyway, after that, what else is left for the truck? Race it. If it doesn't blow up, race it. On top of that, furthermore, I still want to do an episode. I'm at least going to tell you a week ahead of time what I'm going to do. I want to do an urban race cars question and answer thing. So if you guys start thinking about questions to ask my buddy Mark, who owns the 2 Camaros, and we can do an overview on them too. He owns the 2 Camaros, the race car and the street car one. He owned the white Mustang last year that went 7s. And now the race car is in the 7s with like 500 more pounds. It seems like we could go faster. We're going to see how that goes. But start thinking about that stuff and what you want to ask him in a serious race car. And we'll see how that goes. We'll make a video for that. But that is it. Hope you enjoyed me ramble for like an hour about my ls1 tech questions. See you later.